What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the best Virginian, and I've been here the whole time. Today, I thought we would talk about the state flag, but before we can talk about the state flag, we have to talk about the state seal, and like everything else, I can't just do basic, stupid research, because before we can talk about the state seal, we need to talk about the man who drew it, Mr. Joseph Debar. Debar. Joseph Debar was born in France. He was formally educated in the sciences and the arts in Paris. The guy spoke three languages fluently: English, French, and German, but he also could write and speak in Spanish, Italian, Greek, and Latin. He fell in love with a much younger girl, and her family immigrated to Parkersburg. And then, for some reason, one day in 1842, Debar decided, you know what? I don't have anything to do. It's a Friday. I ain't got a job. I'm going to go migrate to West Virginia. I'm going to travel halfway around the world to be with this woman. So Debar jumps on a boat, which, as legend has it, was the same boat that Charles Dickinson was using to get to the United States. And not just did he meet him, but he became friends with him and sketched a picture of Mr. Dickinson. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. I found one source that stated that, and the same source also got a lot of dates wrong, so I'm not sure if that's a good source to use. So upon arriving in the United States, he tracked down this girl named Clara Levasseur, and in 1847, they were married in Marietta, Ohio. He was 27, she was 17. Don't think about it. It was a different time. Still kind of creepy, but whatever. Shortly after, she gave birth to a son, but she passed away, and her parents adopted the child. At this point, Debar is that guy your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. Like, yeah, he's an artist, okay. He speaks like 7 languages. Okay, he did the super romantic thing to, get his wife to fall in love with him. Oh great, he's married. Well, no, she recently died. Huh. At that point, he could steal any woman away from any man that he wanted to. But instead, he moved to the recently formed Doddridge County and formed the German-Swiss colony of Santa Clara that he named after his deceased wife. At that point in time, he was a postmaster, a surveyor, and he was still sketching off and on. I'll link some of the sketches down below. There's a collection of all the sketches he did. The town's main export was cheese, because of course it was. During the same time, a lot of his sketches depicted day-to-day life in the mountain state. He also did numerous sketches of political figures, including Carlisle, Borman, even Abraham Lincoln. In 1863, when West Virginia became a state, the then Governor Borman commissioned Debar to create a state seal. The design he came up with is literally like that big. It's 2.5 inches. It's like that big. And the front side, because it does have 2 sides, has a rock representing the founding of the state, engraved in the rock, is June 20th, 1863, and adorning both sides of the rock are two men, one representing the agricultural side of the state, the other one representing the industrial side of the state. Below them are two rifles crossed with a victory cap, and the state motto, Montani Semper Liberi. I do not speak Latin, but of course that means mountaineers are always free. And there is a backside to it that we never really get to see that much as West Virginians. Double-sided things are going to become a theme in this video. Just bear with me. While the front side is a lot of symbolism, the back side looks like, a scene you might see going down the Ohio River at this point in time. There's a pasture with different animals in it, factories, railroad, a boat. I think there's a boat. A part of me really hopes that Borman came to Debar and asked him to draw a state seal like one of his French girls. Debar would go on to hold various offices in the state of West Virginia. He was the Commissioner of Immigration. While he held this office, Helvetia, the German colony in West Virginia, was founded. He also represented Doddridge County in the State House of Delegates. And in 1867, he got to go back to Paris, where he presented a petroleum exhibit. And he was actually given an award for this exhibit during that year's Paris World's Fair. He also published the West Virginia Handbook and Immigrant's Guide, which is still available because of public domain laws. You can read it to this day for free. I'll provide it below. Or you can actually order a paperback copy of it on Amazon. West Virginia oftentimes gets some flack because we have what is known as a state seal flag. But West Virginia didn't formally have a state flag until 1962. Before this, West Virginia had gone through several different iterations of a state flag. Many states didn't actually have state flags until this time period in between 1893, which was the Columbian Exhibition, also known as the Chicago's World Fair, and World War I. It was during this time period that a lot of states adopted their own flags. West Virginia's flag was designed for the 1904 Louisiana Purchase Exposition, also known as the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, much like the Paris World Fair. West Virginia had an exhibit they presented at this World Fair, and they wanted to adorn the building with a flag that, separated it from all the other state exhibits. And the original flag was two-sided. It had a laurel of rhododendron on a white background with a blue border, and on the opposite side was the state seal. The double-sided flag was deemed horribly impractical because the lettering bled through. It was more expensive to print two different things on each side, and it just wasn't a good flag. In 1907, we made some minor changes, but we still tried keeping a two-sided flag. In 1929, the double-sided flag was dumped after much debate. A compromise was reached where the rhododendrons were brought to the front, bordering the state seal. The seal border was then adorned with two red banners, one reading State of West Virginia at the top, and below the seal was the state motto. This design is bordered on four sides by a strip of blue. So that flag was designed in 1929, but it would be another 30 plus years before it was actually recognized as the official state flag of West Virginia. So that's how we went from a French immigrant leaving home to track down the love of his life, to a state seal, to the state flag. Which, if you want to say West Virginia just has a state seal flag, that's fine. But there's way more history behind it than just that. And don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful, and I'll talk to you later.